Some think pulse crops are poised for a breakout. Some think pulse crops are poised for a breakout here in Nebraska, but the ongoing trade disputes could be a concern. Here's more from the Pulse Crops Expo.
You get a break on your nitrogen from the peas.
Here in corn country, adding peas to the farm may be a little unusual, but Jim Campbell of Kearney gave it a shot.
We had a really good year, and I told my wife after that, I said, I can't grow soybeans for this price and what it cost me to put the peas in the ground.
Field peas are a pulse crop and grow in about 4 months, giving them a unique place in a crop rotation.
They fit well in the western part where we have fallow as a fallow replacement. They fit well in eastern part because you grow them from March and then harvest them in July. What do you do after July? It's really easy to do cover crops, forage crops.
It opens up a longer window for cover crops that cattle can graze.
And I took a 30 cow farm to 80 head by using yellow field peas and cover crops.
And the peas can be harvested. A growing number of products on store shelves contain pulse crops, but the majority are exported and markets are closed.
Our exports from India and China are nearly zero.
Canada sells tariff-free, and Todd Schultz says it's hurt American market share.
This year we've seen a radical shift in prices, and it's made growers question whether they should plant them or not.
This is research.
Researchers at the University of Nebraska think these crops give farmers new options, good for the soil with fewer inputs.
A very low input, almost like just planting and harvest.
Whether or not peas take off in Nebraska, extension educators want farmers to be informed.
I don't think anybody's going to get rich, but at least from the sustainability point, not only agronomically, but economically, maybe we got to move into more diversified cropping systems. It's all up to farmers. We're here to educate. It's up to their decision what they want to do. And growers of these crops are considering forming a checkoff. Breeding part is very, very hard. So how do you get the sustained funding for such a breeding effort, or how do you make sure that you have more processors coming in, more competition, getting better price for farmers? Is checkoff has helped other crops do that, and we're trying to evaluate that. It's kind of a bad time because all the commodity prices, and all the property tax that's going up and everything. So it's always a tricky discussion, but we are going to have that discussion. And what's your interest in pulse crops? I'm here with Todd Schultz from the USA Dry Pea and Lentil Council, and at the expo going on in Kearney. So many positives, but also some challenges when we look at the market side of things. We've seen, talk first about the positives, the real growth we've seen in the number of acres and production on some of these pulse crops.
So yeah, this year we had the largest amount of metric tons, the largest production year, second largest production year in history. And so we have a lot of peas and lentils and chickpeas in stock. That's a good thing in some ways. We need supply to be able to do some of the new things we're trying to do. But on the bad note, we have been faced with some tariffs in China and India, our two biggest customers, that have shut us down from international marketing. So significantly declined our international markets and significantly declined our prices. For the last 10 to 15 years, our prices have gone up for peas, lentils, and chickpeas generally, in spite of the fact that we've increased our production significantly too. That doesn't make sense economically, but
sure.
But this year we've seen a radical shift in prices, and it's made growers question whether they should plant them or not. So that's why they're here, is to try and figure out if they can.
And I'm assuming then the exports have pretty much leveled off and dropped off to nothing to those countries.
That's true, yes. Our exports from India and China are nearly zero. And generally we have 6 overseas reps that work on international marketing focused on our traditional customers. So we're trying to market in a new way internationally. That's kind of what USDA is encouraging all of their cooperators to do. And then domestically,
well, let's talk about that domestically, because I would assume if I walked into the grocery store 10 years ago, I don't know how many products I would have seen containing these crops. I mean, everything, of course, has corn and soybeans and wheat and our traditional kind of grains, but have we seen a rise in the number of products, even just that I can pick up at the store, that would have, peas and lentils and these kinds of things in it?
Certainly. So, in 2016, the UN declared the International Year of Pulses, and it was an effort to try and raise the awareness of pulses as a food commodity, the importance they have worldwide. And you can see, if you go to the store, you can see milk products that are made with pulses. You can see meat surrogates that are made with pulses. You can see chips that are made with pulses, snack foods, and so it's really an exciting time domestically.
Well, that's the thing. As much as you grow those domestic markets, I think you told me earlier that more than half of our production actually is exported. So you have to have those international markets. Really are key to the financial viability.
Peas are about 65% an export product, and lentils are about 75%. Chickpeas, on the other hand, are about 50-50.
Okay.
And so you can't believe how great a product pulses are. They could help us improve our obesity, improve our really improve the health of the nation, and so pulses are the greatest.
As we learned, they have a short season, and that lends itself to cover crops that can be grazed. So, do you have strong interest, mild interest, or no interest? Follow Grow on Twitter to cast your votes. Weather's up next, and later we see how Nebraska bees play a vital role in pollination.
Hi, I'm Jack Reimers from the Howard County Fair, and you're watching NTV's Grow.